This is episode 3 of our Indiana Jones crusade to find Bullendale, the site of the first hydroelectric station in New Zealand, if not the Southern Hemisphere. And we're sitting here on the corner of Coronet Peak Road and Skippers Road. And some of you know Coronet Peak. It's only probably 10 or 15 minutes from Queenstown. We're probably only 5 or 10 minutes from Queenstown where we are at the moment, aren't we? Just drive through Arthur's Point. Queenstown in the background. You can see the shot over river probably just to Dave's right. We just thought it was worth having just done a little bit of this road in the car. It was worth just stressing how flippin' difficult this place is to get to, which, you know, when you think about hydro stations today, you can drive right up to them, most of them, even some of the tough ones to get to in the Waikato. It's
usually the first thing that's done these days is you put in an access road.
Put an access road, that's right. But so this is your first industrial use of hydroelectricity, and it is in the middle of absolute nowhere. So still in the middle of nowhere, and we'll talk a bit about Skippers Road first. But just to reinforce, we only did an hour of Skippers. So an hour of Skippers Road, probably about 10 kilometres, and that would be a fifth of the way to Bullendale.
Perhaps even longer by time, because the road gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, so that is a far easier way to do this, but Skippers Road only takes you to Skippers Township, which is about 20 kilometres in, and when we say township we mean a ghost town. There's a high country station and the remains of a school there which has been restored, which is pretty incredible. There's a school. But talk us through the road and how difficult it would have been just to do the bit that we've done now.
Well, the interesting thing is the road that we've just done is very similar to the road that they had right back from the 1880s. But the vehicles obviously they used on it were quite difficult. So up to Skippers they could use horse and cart. Beyond from Skippers to Bullendale they couldn't even do that. But we're talking about quite, as you'll see, quite steep, cavernous roads. The edges are pretty unforgiving in places, although they had some walls and parts of it which they needed with the kind of transport they had. We're talking braking systems that were just a guy levering steel pad onto either a wooden shaft or a steel wheel.
Yeah.
We're not talking excellent brakes, usually only on one wheel. Otherwise you're relying pretty much on the horses holding on to whatever weight you're moving. So you had to be pretty careful, pretty slow, and have the right amount of horsepower, literally.
And just again to put this, a couple of bits of context. Today if you rent a car from one of the rental companies locally, dollars to donuts, you'll find a clause in the bottom of it that says this, for the avoidance of doubt, this car is not insured if you drive it on Skippers Road, and it reminds you just over the way there that you're probably not insured to drive your car. It specifically mentions Skippers Road. So here we are in 2014, in the age of the safety, comfort and reliability of all-wheel drive. It sounds like an ad for Subaru, but we're 130 years from when. How much equipment and how long did it take them to get on horse and cart down this road?
Well, just the electrical equipment weighed 6 tonnes. It was broken down. I mean, that was one of the problems with the machinery at the other end, is they actually had to, like normally they'd ship these motors in place and put them in. They actually completely knocked them down, took as much of it apart as they could. But still, those iron frames on the arc dynamos, I mean, you can see how big they are in the footage. They must have weighed a tonne each.
And didn't, unlike the construction of some power stations these days, they actually lost a whole lot over a ledge.
Yeah,
at some point,
there is a story that one of the frames from one of the machines went over a 50-foot bank, taking 4 horses with it, and it took them 3 days just to get it back up on the track, let alone back onto site.
So, I mean, when you drive this road, if you're ever silly enough like us to give it a crack with your own private vehicle, it is pretty amazing to think that there were people that were doing this track, not just for the equipment of Bullendale, but Skippers was a thriving township, and there would have been supplies coming in here all the time.
Yeah, although as we remarked as we're coming back, on a day like today, they're probably the people who are thinking they had the greatest job in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, so that's we're probably getting pretty close to the point now where we're ready to start doing some filming and getting a chopper in. But that's all from us now. All good?
All right, all good.
All good.
In terms of where we started, back at the corner of Coronet Peak Road, where we are now, over halfway to Skippers. And it's taken us, hour and 10 minutes. So that's where we started, corner of Coronet Peak and Skippers Road. And we think we're about there now, and here's Skippers. So 20 odd kilometre road, 10k an hour, that's not bad.
Better than they did in 1886.
Yeah, they would have battled, I think. That looks like some tailings up there. You reckon? That little sandy bit in between the two knobs.
Well, it does too, and there is debris in it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that'll be Sainsbury Terrace, because it'll probably be flat up on top of there, right?
Right, yeah, it does
And
look
then
like
they
it.
would have, yeah, so there'll be tailings. And God knows where that come from. It might have come from Bullendale, washed down in a flood.
Yeah, washed down in a flood one time.